Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Before we'll look at the price at technical analysis and we'll discuss what we would expect about the price in near future, I just want to make some short explanation of my standpoint regarding the question about the future of Bitcoin. And currently we know that there is at least two major narratives, major group of people who think completely differently about Bitcoin. And one of them is that basically we are using crypto as another version of the already existed traditional assets in financial space, and it basically follows the same rules, the same laws as all the others. And the idea is that we will probably in a cyclic behavior, but there is no fundamental reason to believe that we'll not be able to go to like $1 or something, and will not be able to stay that for years or decades and something like that. And second opinion is that Bitcoin, as many other crypto and crypto idea in general, is something completely new, and it's different from all the other assets, and we will go to $1 million or $10 million per Bitcoin in future, and go to the moon, yada yada yada. So why I think that the former opinion is somewhat limited and incorrect. The thing is that, of course, I don't really say that it is incorrect. I think that it is more likely to be incorrect, or there's a high chance that it is incorrect, and the chance is high enough for me to take this risk and go into this field for in the long term. So the idea is, in my opinion, that although indeed it's like a part of all the financial world existed so far, however, those people, I think they're missing the point that Bitcoin as well as crypto has some intrinsic essence which didn't exist so far for any kind of the assets in the financial world. We can count them and discuss them, but the main thing is that it's indeed maybe something which could revolve the whole financial economic system existed so far. And in that case, we shall not apply all previously existed rules and like terms of the forecasting prediction for the price and generally expectation of this price to evolving in future. So that's the whole idea. Of course, it may be wrong and so on, but just it's more like a major issue, like a matter of belief. And one point here is that there is such a thing as maximalism or idealism, and I think that the former opinion, as I just described, is sort of the state of maximalism at some point, because like even people who are saying that we don't need anything except technical analysis to successfully predict the price action and be profitable in trading, because everything is already included in the price action. So we just need to decode this, and we need to properly understand what is happening with the price, and that's it. You don't need to know any basically fundamentals. You don't need anything about news and so on. However, like in physics, for example, there is a radio wave white noise, and in this white noise there is indeed the whole possible set of information you can think of, which is included there, but it is practically impossible. So in the same way, you'd have need to use the whole set of the information you are able to get from about the market, not only technical analysis, but also all the fundamentals, all the development which is going on, all the connections and interconnections between the parts of this market. So everything which you're able to use in your puzzle, you need to include in your analysis. The same thing, I would think, is a mistake, sort of similar kind of mistake, those people who are treating crypto the same way as the other assets are making. So their mistake is that they are too idealistic, too much of maximalists, and in this case, it is like a crucial thing, in my opinion. You don't have this before. It's absolutely something absolutely new, and do not taking this into account. This is a major mistake you can make dealing with this market. Also, I must say that when we are talking about the development of this space and considering whether it is a Ponzi scheme or whether there is something really revolutionary in future, there are two kinds of authorities talking about this, like people who are in the established position about something, and especially financial sphere and so on. And there are again two types of people. One which are broadcasting the sort of general sentiment which we can hear from, like Warren Buffett, whatever, Bill Gates and so on, and those people mostly are against crypto, and they represent the traditional markets, and also they are sort of what they say is more for masses instead of representing their real opinion, which this is at least how I view that. But there are other people which basically don't make much of mistakes in their life, especially professional career, and very successful, and also represent a huge executive class of the financial sphere, economics, whatever you name it, and they, for example, move into crypto completely, or they are very positive about crypto, and they don't really yell out loud about that. They have their own opinion, that's it. And I more believe these kind of authorities, and there are many of them. And the more I dig into space, the more I found those people which are just absolutely geniuses. So each of them is genius, and I tend to think that they're right. All right, so this is one of the more philosophical idea which I was going to talk about today. And another thing which I would like to talk is, of course, the price, what is happening right now. And right now we have our Bitcoin is hovering around this $3,300, $3,400 area, which actually was quite of the same before in this previous $4,000 area, and then we had a rise after that. Maybe this was the rise after that, and then we finally went down. So I would expect this pretty much the similar thing to happen, and I don't see anything different comparing to what happened before and what is happening now in terms of this is the possible reversal or this is a possible long side trading. I think everything is really like a contracted spring right now, and it's either push it first, contract even more before push up, or will go up right now. And the closest target, although it's like quite of the cliche right now, I would say is 2,900 or $3,000, at least this area. But I would pretty sure that it should collect the stops of this area below that. And also we must include the number of stops and longs right now. And what you see is actually during the whole period of this drop, let's actually move to 1 day scale, and what we see now is that from the whole period of the drop, maybe from nearly $6,000 like this, we see the average increase of the number of shorts. It even was at around 42,000 shorts positions, somewhere around here, and then it dropped a little bit, but still overall it goes up quite a lot. I think it was the maximum number of the shorts in the whole history and of this parameter, and it still didn't, there was not like a short squeeze, right? By the way, right now, looking at those swings of those shorts positions, I would say that probably soon we'll have one more leg up in the shorts, which means that probably we'll see the drop in the price. Also, speaking about the longs, the number of longs basically rising a little, but it's just more, I would think it's more smart money, which have very low liquidation, and they are continuing to accumulate Bitcoin in different levels, those trades, and probably they will not close it, but some of them of course are liquidating a lot of the speculations around there. But again, returning to the shorts case, I would be sure that we will go much higher before finally the number of shorts is in the way that we for the market huge players would be profitable to collect those short positions on the way up. So essentially what the shorts are, if you're not familiar with that, is the sell orders which were made somewhere on the way down and still are open. So the short positions who were made there, they're basically expecting to be closed, so to buy BTC at some level below the open position. And for example, you open this position at 3,400 and you would expect the price go to $2,000. So and then not only you, but like thousands of other people would do that, so the number of shorts will be amazingly huge, and here you'd have the huge capital push the price down. So what the huge players might do is that the price would be turned up instead of that. So he or those people will buy all those selling positions which are in the short orders and even push the price even higher. It would mean that those short orders will never be profitable for those people who open them, because the price will never go down, but there are probably stop orders for those short positions and the liquidations areas for those short positions. And as soon the price will pass through both these levels, a lot of the shorts will be closed, and they will work actually as the opposite, in the opposite way. So they will buy more Bitcoin because of the Bitcoin will be bought more because of the short position stops, and that will move the price, hit the price even to even the higher levels. But I think that this didn't happen yet. I think that probably we will have much higher than 40,000, maybe 50 or $60,000, something completely outrageous, when we will see the finally the squeeze or something like that. And where would it be? I think at least below $3,000, and I would consider even drop to $2,000 or $1,000 easily. What is my plan is that when it drops down, I will follow the previous strategy as I was covering previously as well many times. So buy to even to every new low. So if, for example, we would drop to 2,800, I would buy some, and if it would go even lower, like $2,000 or 2,500, I would buy even more. Let's say 5% of the trading depot here, and 5% more, 10% more, and 5% more, 10% more, and maybe 50% more if you go to $500, something like that. So you got the basic idea. And for example, if it will hit 2,800 but then return back, I will cover some profit to, let's say, 3,500. And moreover, I would do that both in Bitcoin and altcoins. So because at every time Bitcoin hits the new low, I would take a risk. I buy some altcoins, not much, but still. So this is the strategy. And don't forget that everything which I say is my personal opinion, not financial advice. So don't take that risk unless you really do want to take it. And I must, since we're talking about the altcoins, I must say about another thing, which is Ether, and it pretty much represents a lot of the altcoins behavior right now, because it's like ERC20 and all other tokens and so on. So here you can actually see that it's completely in the falling, like straight falling line from the beginning of November, continuing to go down, see some rise in the volume. And actually I have this previous forecast from what it was end of September, so I say that it will go down like this, go a little bit sideways, down even more, and possibly go even lower. And you see it actually happened. So it went down, it has the sideways, it went down even more, it made basically to the level which I meant before, so it's somewhere around here. And this was the biggest volume, very close to that, and now we're going even lower. So according to my rough forecast, it will be 0.02223 Bitcoin per Ether. I don't trade it with a dollar, because I will just be more happy to have more profit in Bitcoin, because eventually I believe it will go down. Will go up, and that's why. But what you can see here, if you will just try to look at this without thinking of all the FUD, all the media and everything, you would see that at this level we had quite of the volume. Now then we got rebound, and we have even bigger volume during this whole period than before. And then for when we went even lower, and actually when we tried to touch the same level, we had even higher volume again, because the panic was even stronger. And then we had quite of the volume even at these places, which is even lower than the previous low. So what it means, at least what it seems to be meaning to me, is that just by looking at the price, you have quite of the indicators of the signals of the potential bottoming. So, and of course, since it's coupled with Bitcoin, all the crypto is pretty much related to each other. I would think that the behavior of altcoins may be treated as some indicator for the behavior of Bitcoin. So I would say that we are really close to the final leg down. Where would it be? I don't know. Again, my honest answer to that is I do not know, guys. I wish I would give you just the ideal proper like value. It will go to $3,152, something like that, but no, I don't know. The real positively returning strategy here is to buy every low and fix your profit on every leg up. If you agree, please leave a like. Now let's finish with this. Oh no, not finish. This one I was going to show you. This is Nasdaq, traditional markets. So what we do see here is, if we look at the daily chart, which is much more representative one because it's a longer scale, it's like longer scale swings in general for the traditional markets than in crypto. So one day chart, what we do see here is that starting from the end of September, when we see that crush to the basically middle of October, so basically just free fall. So then we had rebound and it was lower than the maximum point. Then we had even lower low, then lower high, one more lower low, one more lower high. Now we're falling from this lower high, and we did already more than a halfway to one more lower low. So if it would make one more lower low, I would say that it would straighten the position of the standpoint of the fact that this guy is very strongly directed to the bear market. Really not clear whether it is good for crypto or not. I think long term is more good than bad. Short term, I guess this is the nice way to dump Bitcoin to even lower positions, so I would carefully look at that as well. Speaking about the moving averages, by the way, if we'll switch to weekly, this is as like the possible way it would go to 100 week moving average. In my opinion, it is really low. It's a complete crash, I would say. But yeah, that here until here I would probably keep short if I would trade that. So guys, up to you. Again, not financial advice, but just keep looking at that. Keep looking. You see this 200 days moving averages. It pinned it through, goes up, like hovering around, it didn't hold, and then finally we go slightly going lower, and we didn't even try to hold above that. Very dangerous sign in my opinion. Okay, so returning from the technical analysis from something more general, by the way, this is the Quark chain. You remember I was shilling it for a while. Quark chain is doing quite good comparing to all the other coins in terms of the BTC, worth of BTC. So speaking about the general things, here is the chart, the data which we continue to look at. It's the biggest addresses of the Bitcoin. 100, 200, 300, etc. So what is happening here is that, like previous month, we saw that like 109,000 Bitcoin is coming to this address and so on. So it's like whales are accumulating, yada. And a few videos ago I was showing 66,000 Bitcoins were redistributed in different addresses, and nothing much changed from that point recently except one. So if you'll scroll down to number 2nd page, we will see that from something like 124.3 there is an address with 8,000 Bitcoins, which is now $28 million, and they basically were added to this address on December 5th to 6th, and there are many addresses with the same characteristics. You see 8,000, the same dates, basically, like the same period of time, $8,000, 8,000 bitcoins, 8,000 bitcoins. You can switch to the second page and you will count something like around 100 addresses with the same thing. 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. I would argue that they are pretty much related, at least somehow. And I don't know where the initial one, because actually if you look at the transaction in the blockchain, then you will see that they're actually coming from the different, like a bunch of the addresses. It's pretty much hidden, although it's open ledger. Yeah, you can follow this transaction, you can go, but it is an enormous amount of time. What is still telling me that is something is really happening, because you would not see that in the period when you don't have any price action or something, apparently. So again, 100 Bitcoin wallets with 28 million dollars each, it would give you more than $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. This is pretty much of a whale, right? So where does it move those coins? Why? It is not clear, but apparently those people are doing something really serious. And since I don't believe, and I gave you a lot of the explanation, a lot of the reasons why I don't believe that we will go to zero or something, but we may see quite of the sell-off because of this activity of the whales. However, when they would estimate the harm being done to the most of the players in the market is maximum, then they cannot push it even lower to get anything profitable. They will include the timing issues and everything. They would lead the price go up and probably even pump it a bit to initiate the further growth. Hopefully it will be sooner or later, but again, be careful and don't invest more than you afford to lose. Again, many signs of something is going on. So far, guys, hope it was useful. If it is, please leave your comment confirming that. You leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for being with me while I was rambling for 20 minutes. And hope to see you tomorrow in the new update, which is made daily on this channel about crypto, Bitcoin, and so on. Safe trading, guys. Goodbye.